Hi everyone! Today we're going to start Unit 8, which is about volume. So Day 1 notes are all about identifying 3D shapes. So three-dimensional shapes can be broken up into 5 categories. You're going to have prisms, cylinders, pyramids, cones, and spheres. And the reason these notes are so important is because on the reference sheet, all the volume formulas are there, but there's a different formula for prisms, cylinders, spheres, cones, and pyramids. So if you don't know what shape you're dealing with, you won't know which formula to choose. So it's really important that we have an excellent understanding of which shape is which so that we can pick the right formula. All right, so prisms. So a prism is a three-dimensional shape that has two congruent and parallel bases. All right, so often base we kind of think of the bottom. It doesn't really have to be the bottom. You are looking for two congruent and parallel sides. So those are the bases. Very important you can recognize the base. They are congruent and they are parallel. So for example, in this right here, there are two congruent parallel bases, and it's this bottom pentagon and the top one. They're parallel to each other and they're congruent. In this shape, there is a base of a triangle parallel and congruent to that triangle. So those are your base. Those are the bases. Now the other sides are called lateral faces. That's not that important, but it's very important you can identify the base. So, examples, identify what shape makes up the bases. So this here is a prism. There are two congruent and parallel bases. You gotta look for two sides that are parallel to each other and that are congruent. And in this shape, it is those two triangles. So your base is a triangle. In this next shape, it is a prism. Your two congruent parallel bases are these right here. I got to count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do we know what an 8-sided figure is called? It's an octagon. All right, now this shape is confusing because there are actually 3 different bases. So this bottom rectangle is congruent and parallel to the top rectangle, or this side rectangle is congruent and parallel to this side rectangle. And then it's kind of hard to see, but you also have the front, this rectangle here, and the back, this rectangle here. So this is called a rectangular prism, and there are actually 3 different sets of bases, but they're all rectangles. Okay, so moving on, a cylinder is a prism whose bases are, you guessed it, circles. It's still a prism. There are 2 congruent and parallel bases. And in a cylinder, they are circles. So a cylinder is a type of prism because it has the 2 congruent parallel bases. But in this case, they are circles. Okay? These are right cylinders. They're standing up straight. There's actually a right angle in here. All of these shapes are standing up straight. There's right angles in all these different shapes. Okay, so let's flip. All right, a pyramid. When I say pyramid, you probably think of Egypt and those pointy things. Well, that's the perfect image. So a pyramid, they come to a point. So a pyramid has one base, and the lateral faces end up all being congruent triangles. Pyramids come to a point. So we got to remember that pyramids come to a point. So just think of the Egyptian pyramids, and they come to a point. And they only have one base. All right, so if you look at this picture here, name the shape that makes up the base. So there's only one base. It's the side that does not come to a point. So if you count these edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that is a hexagon. Hexagon has 6 sides. All right, check out this pyramid. I know it's a pyramid. It comes to a point. What's the base? This right here. Looks like a rectangle. Could be a square, possibly. All right, this one's hard to envision. You have to kind of put some 3D vision on here. It's a pyramid. It's coming to a point. So here is your base. It is a triangle. All right, so this shape also, pyramid, comes to a point, and here's our base. We got to count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one's an octagon. All right, a cone is similar to a pyramid, but its base is a circle. So cylinder and cone both start with a C. Those are the ones that have a circle on them, which also starts with a C. So cone's pointed. Think of an ice cream cone. It looks just like an ice cream cone. All right, a sphere. Looks like a ball. Yeah, that's it. It's I guess a three-dimensional circle. It looks like a ball. So that's a sphere. So like I said, it's very important that you can recognize all those different shapes by name, because if I give you a picture of something and I say, okay, find its volume, you have to figure out, is it a prism? Is it a cylinder? Is it a sphere? Is it a cone? Or is it a pyramid? So that you can choose the correct formula. So very important, know your shapes. Okay, have fun. Bye.